There we go. I do believe we are live. So I'll say, indeed, and greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. I thank you for joining me again on another Conscious Evolution. Today's stream topic is about being authentically stuck. Being authentic when you're stuck, feeling stuck in an attempt to be authentic. Mm, yes. I feel a little bit stuck today. I don't know exactly why. I've gotten some work done. I had some food. But there are some challenges arising. Right? Like, and I am hoping that this is one of those things where it's just an email they have to send out as a courtesy, but that's not gonna necessarily be a thing. But the Starlink service we have has this clause of it only being allowed to go to another country for 2 months at a time or something like that. And they're telling us that they're gonna switch our internet off in like 10 days. A little bit less than 10 days now. The 21st of August. So that I feel I'm a little bit stuck on. Because what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to not live in South Africa so I can use this internet service? Where I am right now has no internet service. There's no option for me to use any other service. There's no Wi Fi, there's no fiber. I have this service that I've been using. And now it's becoming more expensive in August or end of August. And it was expensive to buy as a unit cost. And I don't know if you can sell them again. I don't know who would buy it, even if you could. I don't know that it's gonna work at all. So that's like one layer, and then there's the layer of like finances still, right? Where again we find ourselves in quiet seasons, and a certain level of stability, but that's not necessarily the case for everybody. And in that way, I'm the only one that's been paying my rent, the only one that's been buying food. Sometimes, I mean, at least we bought some food together the last grocery trip, but the 7 grocery trips before that was right. So like there is tensions, and now um, I am being asked to drive John through to Potstall, which is in Pretoria. So it's gonna be another like $10 worth of fuel. And that's if I just sit there drinking nothing, eating nothing, staring into the void. I have $60 in my account right now after all of the other expenses. I also sent some more cash to the Tani on top of the rent I already paid. So I am feeling a little bit, yeah, like, oh, oh, is it now this too? Oh, okay. I, I'll smoke some weed, probably. I think that's gonna help. I'm trusting it will. I'm gonna make this thing like so, and then make it like sus. Alrighty. See if this is clean. Nope. I am feeling authentically stuck. Wow! There's so many of you friends here with me. It's a blessing having you here. Seriously? When did you feel authentically stuck? Do you feel stuck when you try to be authentic? Because like a few days ago we talked about the imposter syndrome. Might have even been yesterday. Might have even been yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. We talked about this feeling of getting flustered, right? When you're talking to someone you might think is important. And I'm kind of like coming around into today's stream, realizing that it is authenticity that is in need, right? Like you only feel flustered, at least in my mind, when you aren't being authentic, right? And I don't feel very flustered today, in particular. I just kind of feel like it is the way it is. Doug Dead is here with us. Iram Ma doing something disingenuous. Shocker. Yeah. I might be coming around to the Iram Ma hate. Doug Dead. And you know how much it hurts me to admit that information. Fuck, dude. I want to love people. I really want to love people. I want, I want to see the good they bring into the world. And they do. They do bring good into the world. But fuck, dude, this capitalism we're having right now, bro. I think it distorts our views of the world. Sorry, you didn't need that right now. Sorry, my bro. No, no, Doc Dad. Weirdly enough, I have been aware of the fact that we haven't really talked much Irama on stream as of late, and I remembered all of the previous times we had, and the role I played. And now I kind of like I'm more and more relating to the role you friends played. And it's rough. It's rough having to admit. But it's fine. Why is Starlin going away? I missed it. It's not necessarily going away. We just got like some email. Right? It goes something 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 something. As outlined in our terms of service, the availability of our mobile service plans is contingent upon various factors, including regulatory approvals. The mobile regional plans are intended for temporary transit and not for permanent use in a location. If you have been using a mobile regional plan for more than 2 months outside of the country in which you ordered your Stara you might either see support, frequently asked questions, or you can change your account country, or return to the country in which your service was ordered. Otherwise, starting 21st of August, you will be unable to connect to the internet except to access your Stararenko account, where you can make updates to your account. So we got that email like 15 minutes before 12. So it's not necessarily a sure thing. Here's hoping it's not. Here's hoping it's just some email they were forced to send and they're not gonna and want you to Starlink marketing. It's not really Starlink's fault. It's more expects Starlink to just give 30% of their company to, someone else. To someone, right? Never mind someone else, just to someone to give, right? With no compensation, with no value added, just to give 30% of their company. And if they don't want to do that, then they do not have the authority, the regional authority to technically operate in our country, right? So technically, in that way, Starlink has been the good guy because we've had this internet service. We would not have this internet service right now because they're allowing us to use it. The actual company, not our government, right? And it might be a government thing that they're pushing buttons in that way. Day 4 of no weed for me. I think it's time. Weirdly enough, One of the things that I might feel a little bit stuck on is the fact that I might need to smoke less weed. Jovan, just again, it's nice to have you here. I felt authentically stuck for only the last 20 odd years. Wow, Doug, you went on a hiking trip weedless. Joe, I brought weed and even gave some away as a gift. I'm not here to suck your spirit. You're a good man. I'm older than you, so I've had more time to feel the hard, crushing grip of capitalism. Isaac, talking about the hard, crushing grip of capitalism. Our beloved friend Isaac, and who's also fighting this grip alongside us. It's nice having you here, bro. Sending you love, man. It's hilarious to me that the dude doesn't want his own product working in his country of birth. No, he does. He does, and it is. It is working here, and they could literally just like draw a little box over our country and make the satellites not beam information here, and they're not doing that. It is our country and our corrupt officials that just want 30% of an information company, because that's what the our laws say. Our FCC, our ICASA rules are like, if you want to operate a telecom company, an IP company that does communications, 30% of that company has to be owned by someone, right? Not the people who made the company, not the people who spend time developing the technology. No, just someone, some person, right? And obviously, in the real world, that's not how it works. And for that reason, it's not kind of vibes. Hey, friendies, I've missed y'all. We've missed you too, bro. It's nice having you here. Now, you will only be able to access the internet if you still access your account. Translation, pay me. No, we have been paying. We have been paying, right? And then as you pay, you get to use the service, which is fair. It's again our country, right? So it's just making me hate this country. It's not really making me hate the service, kind of vibe, unfortunately. Elon Musk has more money than your entire government. Send an email. Yeah. I'm so confused about Starlink. The South African government doesn't want it in South Africa. Let me read to you, friends. Hey, Google. Why is Starlink not officially in South Africa yet? Starlink subscriptions have been rolled out in a number of African countries, including Kenya, Mozambique, Nigeria, and Rwanda. Starlink has not rolled out South Africa because it currently does not have a license from the Independent Communications Authority of South Africa, ICASA, to operate. Alright, let's see if they're going to tell us why they do not have a said license to operate here. There we go. However, South Africa is a region that is covered by the Starlink network, which means that a subscriber with a subscription is able to connect. Some South Africans have found ways to purchase the subscription, as there are already service providers selling subscriptions to South Africans. Ask me how I know. Starlink has the potential to improve interconnectivity in South Africa. It does. In turn, spurring economic development and growth in the country. It has. In order to operate in South Africa, however, Starlink would require electronic communications licenses issued under the Electronic Communications Act. Without the necessary licenses in place, Starlink cannot directly provide subscriptions to South Africans. In addition, ICASA requires that license applicants have a minimum of 30% equity ownership held by persons from historically disadvantaged groups. A further consideration is the fact that Starlink equipment should be type approved. These regulation hurdles pose a challenge for Starlink and it also inhibits progress and development that is beneficial to the country and all of its people. Yeah, so that's the problem. That's the problem we're facing. And it's, yeah, it's greed. Unfortunately. Hmm. This is some of the Exodus cheese from yesterday that's in here, right? Mm-hmm. Hope you're doing well. Funny you say that, friend. Currently, I've pulled a pro gamer move, and I'm technically arms crossed like a toddler against capitalism. Silly way to say unemployed. I mean, again, bruh, unemployment is a part of capitalism. Capitalism doesn't function without people living on near poverty or poverty. So, again, I think we're still playing the game, unfortunately, even if we're unemployed, bro. I'm technically unemployed. Technically. Technically, Chris, I've been unemployed a very long time. But still, I have to pay money for my food. And if I want to stay here, I have to pay money for that as well. Is it the government wants a cut and Starlink is no? Yeah, exactly. Government is like, give us 30% of your satellite internet business. You give me 30%, right? Like the whole Apple thing. And Starlink is like, no, actually no. Seems weird. Everyone wants 30%. Wasn't Apple just asking 30% the other day? Yeah, it's true. It's true. I wonder if they do that. If you download the Starlink, I wonder. I want to see actually. Uh, will Starlink subscriptions be subject to Apple's 30% platform fee? Man, people are losing their minds. I'm seeing so many like articles. I'm not seeing anything on that point specifically, but that would be extra ridiculous if it was the case. So maybe for the best. That's that old Mr. Krabs. Yeah. Money. Dog, I heard about that. But 30% from where? 30% from everyone. 30% from everyone. Like the email I got from Apple the other day was as such. Apple is requiring that Patreon use their in-app purchasing system and to remove all other billing systems from Patreon. Patreon is the platform where I post all of my psychedelic flowers that I make every day. This means that starting in November, new memberships purchased in the iOS app, specifically just Apple users, will be subject to Apple's 30% App Store fee. First, we want to be clear about one thing. This will not impact your existing memberships at all. So if you're already subscribed, at least it's not going to increase your price. But from November 2024, it's going to go up 30%. So yeah, Apple is being scummy as well. And again, if you are an Apple user, they're basically telling you to get asked, you know. That's what they're saying. They have no respect for you as a consumer. They have no respect for the developers of the apps that you as a consumer want. And you should not use an Apple device. If you have boundless resources, you should add maximum velocity to your iPhone in the direction of the closest wall. I am, of course, joking. Do not do that. That would be a waste of resources. But please do not purchase more iPhones. All right, it's time to switch to Android for all of us. Apple is being scummy as well. They is. Apple is the scummy. They are the scummeth of the earth. This old gray beard duck dad talking to all of your youngins about unemployment because it crushed me. Yeah, Wizig. That means you're streaming, eh? I hope so. I do hope so. Learn and develop skills that make it impossible for you to be unemployed. I learned how to work with my hands after company decided corporate greed was more important. I hear you, bro. Unfortunate race, 50, like 50, like half of people under the age of 30 in South Africa are now unemployed. Right? So, even though I have valuable skills, even though I can speak in front of a crowd, even though I can host seminars, even though I can 3D map things, even though I can give yoga classes, all these skills, I'm still, right, even though I'm in a better position than most of the average South Africans, finding a hard time making ends meet. I mean, so it's, yeah, it's cool and all to be able to change a tire, to be able to, fix a wall that got broken, putty it back up, to fix some woodwork, take some rotten pieces out and replace it with new pieces. Like, I feel like all of those things are good to be able to do, but if there's nobody willing to pay you to do that work, then we're back to the square zero, unfortunately. No one can take your skills from you. Work for yourselves. This I do agree with as a statement. Totally unrelated, I happened upon a Post Malone playing live at Grand Ole Osprey last night, and it was a banger. I happened upon Post Malone playing live at the Grand Ole Osprey. Like, was it? Did he just show up as well, or did you just show up, Nancy? That does sound nice. That's crazy. What's crazy is the tiny amount, the 30% would trickle down to others, instead just those couple higher ups that negotiated. Yeah, exactly. And then we did a Google search. I think it's less now because they spent some of their cash, but they still have like 60 billion US dollars of cash on hand. You know, like more money than is reasonable for any human being, for any, like, again, entity, because companies are entities, to have, realistically. Like, that money is not doing anything, just laying there. Billions, multiple tens of billions of dollars just sitting there. And they're like, I think I'm gonna take 30% from Melt. Just just cause I can. Just because I can, I'm gonna. Life's been crazy, too long didn't read. I found a sick job that was perfect for my personality and would let me float till February when Jazzy takes the bar. I became bar manager so fast, but then it imploded, bro. Boss was being super abrasive and unprofessional to my younger employees and went total scorched earth being nasty. I know 2 weeks, got to give her a piece of my mind and plop a dead business in her hand. Four others followed me out, so sucked bad but felt good. And luckily I can float for a minute, super blessed, and I have had a great month. Streaming could be a super fun way to fill the gap. It's a way to practice some skills. Again, feeling comfortable in front of the camera is probably going to be a part of our worlds, no matter what our occupation is. You still cutting hair? Is that fractal still potentially open? You can maybe like make like some videos, bro. Just rocking up and giving people free haircuts. I'd watch that. Sounds cool. We did talk about the whole podcast and haircuts, right? That's my catch up. Back to the topic at hand. Eat the rich, as you do. It's one of the best ironies that The Boys is all about anti-capitalist and highlights the obvious disgusting practices of big companies. And it's streaming exclusively on Prime. Yeah, feels very appropriate. It's streaming exclusively on the internet, I've heard, Isaac. Proud of you, Isaac, for knowing your worth, but it's also for sticking up for them and showing them their worth too. I don't know if you know this, Isaac, but I also, in fact, was such an agent of chaos where they didn't technically leave with me, but I also gathered a bunch of people to stand up for ourselves against our. He wasn't that abusive and abrasive. He was just underpaying us, right? Which is still a form of abuse, at least in my mind, right? If you know what your employees are worth and you know how much money they're making you, pay them appropriately, right? Doesn't seem that hard of a concept to me, but still. So I stood up for myself, and five other people stood up with me as well. And it didn't go well. I got told no. I got told, work for me for a year, and then you can think about getting a raise. And I don't know if that's how it works, if that's how it has to work. I don't think it does. I think I can ask for a raise whenever I want to, actually, whenever I think it's appropriate. Right? And at that point, I had proven myself. I had not missed a single day, right? Where that could not be said for those I was working with as well. So I knew my value to the company. I made a new class, right? After I showed up, a new class got spawned into existence. And again, they have the tuition fees on the outside of the building, right? Like I know what my students are earning in the company, right? To 110% of that doesn't seem unreasonable, right? Right? Just 10%? I asked for 10%, not 30%. I should have asked for 30%. Maybe then he would have budged. He would have budged. No. And then I left first. I was like, oh yeah, peace. Peace out, bro. I left. I got on a train and went to first Shanghai, then Yangzhou, then got arrested in Yangzhou, and then went back to Shanghai, and then realized I have to go back to Huai'an. I technically had to go to a district with within which Jeeps, Huai'an was, and Huai'an was one of those. Yangzhou was one of those. So I went back to Yangzhou to get my extended visa, and then came back again from that perspective as well. And I wish, and this is the other side of it, right? A part of me wishes that I just kind of stuck it out. I just kind of stuck it out and kept getting paid less than I'm worth, because it would have been significantly easier. It would have been a lot easier for me. Uh, and I get that that is why a lot of people are stuck in that experience as well. Like people want that stability of a salary, and they'll just stick with it even if it's not fair, right? And that is unfortunately for me the whole anti-capitalist fractal, at least. Proud of you, Isaac. Bless again. Melta was watching post on YouTube. Okay, that makes more sense. Thanks, Jovan. I definitely thought of you all when it happened. She made my work little sister cry and never apologized. I was so over them. She made someone cry? What the fuck? Was she whipping you guys? Oh yeah, I've been doing that just for close folks out of the house. The only probs with hair stress, hair streams is needing a board approved space. Ah, you're right. because it's like you have to be clean, right? Have to have your scissors in barbicide or something like that. I learned that word yesterday for what it's worth. I was like scrolling down Reddit and then I read the word barbicide. I was like, what? What? Yeah, I hear you. That is a big thing. Honestly, I've been living a straight up gamer life. Sounds about right. John and Max has also been living that gamer life. No, Sam, just imagine legit a Ronald Trump from The Apprentice, but the extremely political opposite. Totally on the left instead, but same problems. It was a nightmare. Yeah, being an asshole knows no religion, no knows no political affiliation, knows no gender, knows no skin color. Being an asshole can come for all of us. Mel, did you say earlier you were paying the rent and buying the food? I'm not paying all of the rent, and I'm not buying all of the food. Right? Technically, I'm paying not that much rent, relatively speaking. But I am buying a lot of food. It's more like a matter of there is a certain amount of rent paid, right? And it is being paid. And all of us know how much we're supposed to pay as well. And not all of us can because of the circumstances. Beautiful little Mexicos. All right. You've got to be like specific distance from a shampoo bowl, have a public restroom, some other stuff. It's why mobile salons are usually trouble. You can cut hair at a church for free though. Hmm. Hmm. The more you know. Are you allowed to do interviews? Maybe you can do. Man, that would be even cooler, bro. I don't know if people that are down on their luck go to church, you know. But if you were like going to a church, it's like helping people with like a food kitchen or something like that, offering free haircuts as well, having conversations with those people, you know, like just asking could be a cool fractal. One of our close friends is going through a separation, and Jasmine and I decided to invite her to move in. Damn, that smells nice. It's been tight for a bit, but we're moving into a larger apartment so we can split rent. But it's been fun having a roomie again, and we're getting a fireplace, so I'm excited. That does sound nice. Yeah, I don't mind having roommates. I found, right? In fact, I think a part of me thrives in having roommates. It just helps if all of the roommates are helping. Hey, Melita, what a pleasure. What a pleasure it is to have you here, dear friend. I just crushed myself some of the Pheno 2 marijuanas for me, and I'm going to now vape it with you. This one has like a very strawberry-esque. Now, strawberry-esque. It started as like white grape, and now smells like strawberries to me. Tuned in to the 33rd minute. It's gonna be minute 34 soon in that case, I'm guessing. Sending you lovin's. It's always a blessing having you here. Today's stream topic is about being authentic, and in that, I want to honor Melita as well. She has been very authentic in her expression of self as well. So here's to that. Thank you, friends, for letting me be authentic, right? Because again, I believe that me seeing that authenticity is me being authentic. And it would be inauthentic if I tried to see authenticity where there is none, which I couldn't do because I wouldn't think to, right? 45 years and 5 months and 5 days. Sounds like a long time, bro. Sounds like a long time. Thank you. You were loved, dear friend. And your expression inspires. Yeah. That is very nice. I think it still tastes more like grapey, like grape and gas. Oh, that should do it. Woo! All right, I'm gonna pull a card. Let's see what Sacred Geometry has to say. And then again, we'll consider. We'll encourage ourselves. We'll try to be authentic today. Do one authentic thing. If you dare. They're grape and gas. That's right, bro. When melt song flows through me, life is sweet. That sounds beautiful, bro. On that note, thank you, Maula, for all of your comments. I read all of them, just so you know. Every one of your comments. I don't always understand, but I always know that you're taking a moment of your time to share love with me. We pulled the Diamond Mandala today. We even had some conversations about diamond recently. Num 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 num. Card number 17. I see fruits, cut fruits, stacked on top of each other, like little towers. And they did have an element of like shininess to them. Like the cuts were very like geometric and like specially made as the fruits were stuck. The crystal ship is being filled. The crystal ship is being filled. Being filled with light. Being filled with potential energy as charge. Being filled with information. Being filled with experience. All right. Diamond Mandala. Let's read this card's meaning. Other dimensions as the core intention of this card. Whirling out from the womb of the cosmos, energy is the most basic stuff of creation. Authentically stuck was today's stream topic. And being stuck is almost like the opposite of energy. Right? Energy is flowing. Every quark and molecule of humankind and of the entirety of the multiverse consists of tiny bits of energy and light. The spirit or light body is spoken of in some ancient philosophies as the diamond soul and is believed to be the eventual course of evolution for humanity as a whole. It is multidimensional and holographic and could be pictured as your interdimensional passport. Meditate. Travel with this image to other dimensions and envision bringing forth your pure diamond light. This essence is the brilliant core of you that shines in love, compassion, fulfillment, and joy. This diamond soul is within you. As you bring it forward, it will put you on a path illuminated by your own inner radiance. Employ this card to journey to dimensions so brilliant that your heart bursts open in rapture. Sit in this bliss and soak up the light. Sit with your brilliance as long as you are able, and then slowly, consciously return to your physical body in the here and now. When you return from this meditation, you may need some time to integrate the light you now contain. Ask to assimilate this energy in a holistic manner so that you may use it in the highest and best manner possible. Woo! Yum, 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 yum. Let me finish up. The doors. The doors, and then she says, the doors. Good morning. Hey, Pojo. These cards are aligned. They usually are. They usually do feel like they're looking into our souls as well. You're like, what are you thinking about, Mel? I'm thinking about the fact that John wants me to drive him to Pretoria today. It's gonna be like 2 hours, give or takes, driving. Total. Back and forth. 2 hours is not that much. 2 hours is a lot when it's already 5 p.m. It's kind of much. It's kind of much. Little bit. Just a wee bit much. It's 444 technically right now. I should clarify. The synchronicity is measurable. Is a measurable reminder for us to return to this moment and share in these moments of exchange and love and joy. And we're here to help one another, even in the smallest of ways. Don't say it like that. Why would you say it as such exactly? 444 here as well. Now I have to go and help. Long drive, bring coffee and music. It screams eternally. Internal screaming intensifies. The fact that it's gonna cost me money, it's gonna cost me money to do that. Is the bottleneck that I'm having a hard time hurdling right now. You know, you probably don't know, but I'm gonna tell you, today's yoga. I didn't actually have the same stream topic for the yoga that I have for today's stream, because I realized that today's stream was today's stream in this way instead of the one I had initially. The initial stream topic was how do you know what to do and if it's right? All right. Are you doing the right thing right now? Am I doing the right thing right now? I want to be doing the right thing. But there's so many things. There's so many things to be doing. And surely, not only one of them can be right. Mm-hmm. I know you don't want to do it, and in reality, you don't have to. But we both know you will, bro. Using the word will. Using the word will like that. Suddenly, the part of my ego that's like, oh yeah, oh yeah, puts a stake in the ground. Just lean into it. By the time I rest my head on my pillow tonight, it will be 900 miles in 3 days. Not counting the ones on my feet. Oh yeah? How about 9,000 miles in 3 days? How about that? You know, come back to me when I'm sorry, doctor. That is crazy. That is kind of bonkers. I think I have traveled more than that. The furthest I've traveled in 3 days was when me, Christian, Adrian, and Adam went to Cape Town on a whim. So I'm gonna go on Google Maps and get the exact kilometers. Mm-hmm. I click this button. I hit this button. I say home. Okay. Here's it. And then I divide by 1.6. Yeah, I during that weekend drove with the homies 1,832 miles in 3 days. Technically, it's more like 2 days. Technically, in a way, it's more like 2 days because we drove after 5 p.m. when Christian came back home after work. Then we got there like between 7 and 9 a.m. Saturday morning. And then we were there for Saturday, and then we drove back Saturday, like afternoon-ish to get back, on Sunday. And that Sunday, we had like plans already, so we had to be back on the Sunday. So, yeah, color me not impressed, I say. As those are rookie numbers. I poke more fun at Duck. Going to see the Mad Caddies downtown Chicago tonight to end my trip in authenticity. That does sound like a nice, crescendo to it. I'm about to take a huge road trip. 2 weeks of traveling. Yeah, that 2 weeks of traveling doesn't sound. 2 weeks of anything can be a bit much, I think. Yeah, 2 weeks more traveling, bro. Please. I hope you have good tunes lined up. What's the other thing you said? Coffee as well, right? Coffee and music. Love is you, bro. Love is true. Have fun. I'll let you know how many linear kilometers we traversed once I have returned to the swamp. We leave on Sunday morning and have a long way to go before we see the plan. That is how it be sometimes. We leave on Sunday. Sunday is very close. And it's a long way before we see the plan. Maybe the people coming to pick you up is gonna reveal the plan as you're on the adventure. Maybe that's the way it's gonna be for all of you. Love is true. What the hell are you going? Where the hell are you going? That it takes 2 weeks to get there. Care to share, Joe? I think he's gonna find out as well. Road trip with the boys doesn't count. Those miles fly by. Listen to this guy. Listen to this guy telling me my double his amount of miles in technically 1 day less of the time isn't this doesn't count. Freaking this guy. I'd give my left hit for a road trip with the boys, but I'd have to get boys first, and that sounds creepy. Duck that, it's easy. It's so easy. You know, all you have to be is me as a 20-something-year-old, and then you have to happen to find yourself in the like club, like the nightlife world, and then you have to hate said nightlife world, and then you have to like abandon said nightlife world way too early, and then you have to happen upon other people who hate the nightlife world that are just minding their own business, eating a meal at a restaurant. And then you have to proceed as myself to interrupt them and tell them how beautiful their hair is. I wish I was joking, but this is step for step, literally how I made my best friends, you know. And then that long-haired dude will invite you over to his house, and then you'll make even more friends at his house than you had ever in your life because he was a college student. He is in this fractal, a college student who lives with 8 other guys. Boom. There you go. Easily applicable step-by-step system to making friends in the modern world. I hope that this joke is coming through. I'm not actually being serious. I'm just like kind of riffing off of this memory of a person posting on Twitter. Want passive income? Just invest 3 million US dollars in an 8% treasury bond. Boom. Easy 20,000 rand, $20,000 a month passive income. Boom. Boom, easy peasy. You know, what are you doing? Why have you not been getting 20,000 US dollars passive income by not investing your 3 million US dollars in 8% treasury bonds? Come on, man. Come on, dude. Oh, yeah. Love is true, though. Swampy, I'm not reading the comments, sorry. I'm driving in Wisconsin, and those fuckers love to nab Illinois plates. Stopping home for a couple of hours, and then heading to Chicago. Safe travels, bro. Hope I mean, I wanted to say I hope your music's good, but you're probably listening to me right now, which is, it's an honor. Thank you. Sam, it's a big old family road trip to visit family in different parts of the US. I'm going with my adult siblings and my parents, and I'm the youngest. It's like a Twilight Zone road trip. That does sound like, I want to use the word unlikely. Sounds unlikely, and yet that's the fractal you're gonna be experiencing. So bless, bro. If you're the youngest in a car with your siblings, you get to be the brat. Enjoy it. Coffee, music, and edibles will be my safe space. That does sound kind of fun. I won't lie. Chowing a bunch of edibles while being on a road trip. I like eating edibles when I fly. No melt. It is I fly when I eat edibles. No, no, damn it. When I go on a plane and I know I'm gonna have to be sitting there, eating an edible helps. Love is true. I thank you, friends, for joining me. I hope you have the most beautiful, absolutely inspiring, filled with splendor and joy, and heartening and lightening your experience in a way where you feel you stop being stuck and instead completely embrace your authenticity. I thank you, friends, for joining me. It's always a dear pleasure sharing these moments. Oh, Jovan, I was literally just thinking about you. I was like, I wonder where Jovan is. I wonder if she's thinking about maybe making a comment. And then Jovan sends 5 memberships to Mario and Katie and Nate and Grant and Isaac as well. You got one of them. Love you. Thank you, Joe, for blessing our friends. Nothing would terrify me more than being higher than I want to be around my family. I have been on 300 mics of LSD around my family and on mushrooms. It is intimidating. What's the word you used? Terrifying. I wasn't terrified. It's just kind of like you're like, oh no, I need to not embarrass myself right now, lest my ego shrivels up and dies. Right? Maybe to some that's terrifying, but for me it's just hilarious. It's like, huh. And it can make you feel very flustered, referencing yesterday's stream topic. But at least in my experience, it makes me authentic. And I would rather lean into that authenticity, that realness of who I am, than be scared of them judging me for it. Melty, there's a common saying in my family. This can't actually be real life. I have said that line a lot as well. And it's interesting that you've said that line as a family because that line usually only arises for me during the psychedelics. So bless you and your cool family, bro. Love is true. Lurky, love you too, Joe. Instructions are unclear now. I'm a 40-year-old dude in the nightlife scene complimenting young people on their pretty hair. Goes directly to jail. Straight to jail. Love is true. Thank you, friends. Again, I'll see you soon tomorrow. Goodbye, everybody. I love you. Cheers. And goodbye.